Hi guys, welcome in. I was watching an Amazon package get dropped off at our front door as we speak because 'tis the season. That's just how everyone's going to be shopping this year. So glad you guys are here with me tonight. Tonight we are making our pork tenderloin with honey garlic sauce. Mom and Dad, I'm sorry that you won't be able to enjoy this because I know how much Dad loves garlic. But nevertheless, here we go. So this dish is a pretty one, so I hope you guys will actually be able to enjoy it with, like I said, if you are having a gathering for Christmas, it'd probably be a good one to do if you want to. Plate's really pretty, and I'm hoping to show you that tonight. So we'll go ahead and get started. We've got our knife and our cutting board. We've got our tenderloin, pork tenderloin. Again, I wanted you guys to get a tenderloin and not a pork loin. Pork loin, guys, is going to have a lot more fat on it. It's also going to be a lot larger. It comes from a different cut of the cow, or the pig, I'm sorry. It comes from a different part of the pig. And these are a little bit more tender. There goes tenderloin. So it's a really good cut of meat. It's got a silvery part of the fat on it, so we're going to cut that off whenever we get to that point. But right now, we're going to keep moving forward.
Mom's eating leftovers. She's watching.
Okay, so Mom's eating leftovers, but she's watching. So maybe one day whenever Dad's like at work or something, you can do this. So we're going to need the Reynolds wrap. I didn't put that down. I wasn't thinking about it, but it's just one of the pieces of equipment that we're going to need tonight because once we let this pork rest, we're going to cover it with the Reynolds wrap and then let it sit. So just bear that in mind. If you've got one, just grab it. We've got a couple of different bowls here. One, what's that?
He said, "Sorry, Mom."
Oh.
Throw a wrench in there.
So, yeah, Cindy's going to be running to the cupboard now in order to get their Reynolds wrap. Got a couple bowls tonight. We got one for our dry ingredients, which is the rub for the tenderloin. And then I've got one for our wet ingredients, which is actually going to be for the glaze. So let's go through our ingredients. Of course, we know the tenderloin's here. We've got some garlic powder, which is going to be really good. I'm using smoked paprika tonight. It doesn't matter if it's smoked or regular paprika. Either one's going to be good. Spanish paprika is another style that you can use. It's another staple that I carry in the house, but just to give it a little bit of a smoky flavor, I'm going to go ahead and use my smoked paprika tonight. Staples, we need some salt and some pepper.
My mom said, "Oh no adding stuff."
No, Cindy, this has all been put on the list. So,
She's talking about the Reynolds wrap.
oh, the Reynolds wrap. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. So yeah. All right, so that's going to be for our dry rub. Our our glaze is going to be apple cider vinegar. We're going to have some soy sauce in that. And then, of course, the honey. There goes honey ginger, honey garlic. And then, of course, we have our garlic sauce, or our garlic, minced garlic. So those are the items that's going to be going in the sauce. I've got a cast iron skillet here because we need an oven-ready skillet. So that means it can basically go from the top of the oven or top of the stove into the oven. So cast iron works really well. I have a bronze pan right there that also is, because the handle's metal, it can go straight into the oven, and that would work fine too. You just need to find something that's either stainless steel that can go straight in the oven or something that won't melt. That's the key point. So, and then I also have some olive oil. So the first thing we need to do tonight is whenever we get this started, we are going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 350 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and get that top started at 350. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our we're going to mix our sauce ingredients together. So let me get a measuring cup real fast. One thing I forgot to grab. The main thing we need to measure tonight is our honey. The honey is basically going to come in at, our honey is going to come in basically tonight at a half a cup. Probably use a glass one. Kim brought up a good point because the glass one, like I said before, is smooth on the side. So it's just a little bit easier to do. So get that one out here. And we are going to have a half cup of honey. Take that lid off. Excuse me, get that measured out. Huh?
You can't see measuring.
Oh, was I up too high?
Yeah.
So we've got a half a cup. Guys, I'm sorry I was up too high. Kim said you was up too high. You couldn't see it measure. But it's nevertheless half a cup. So I'm going to grab my rubber spatula. And we're going to pour that right in here. in this bowl. And I will set that in the sink so it doesn't leak down on everything. The next thing we're going to need is a 3 tablespoons of cider vinegar, apple cider vinegar. So we're going to add 3 tablespoons of that in. He enjoys that. There they are. Couldn't find our measuring. Nah. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Now with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over here because I'm going to make everybody nuts tonight because I'm not going to measure my dry seasoning. I know Cindy's going to love that one. And then after that, we need approximately, let's see here, what do we need? 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. So I'm just going to come in here and do a couple keeping spoonfuls. Oops. Now, what we want to do with that, guys, is get it mixed together. That honey will start to melt with that apple cider vinegar in it and liquefy, making everybody dizzy because I'm shaking as I'm doing this. So,
Did you add the soy sauce?
Not yet. I wanted to get that honey malted down as much as possible. All right, now, let's see. No, I'm sorry. The soy sauce. Soy sauce is going to as 1.5 teaspoons. So get that open and put in about 1.5 teaspoons. Get that stirred in. Looking really good. All right, now we're going to set that aside. That all is taken care of. Now, the next thing we need to do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and mix the rub ingredients. So the first thing we need with that is we need, let's see here. We need a half teaspoon of garlic powder. And again, this is going to make you guys crazy because I'm just going to say, yeah, that's about right. So, all right. Next thing we need is a half teaspoon of black pepper.
Penelope says she missed the beginning again.
Oh no, Penelope, what did you miss? We was putting all the wet ingredients together to make our sauce, and now we're mixing our dry ingredients together. So really easy. All your dry ingredients that were on here is listed as at a half mushing I'm just sort of mushing it as I go, which I usually do, cooking off the sleeve. So, no. Can you do me a favor? I spilt some garlic. Can you come around and wipe that up so Riley doesn't get into it? Thank you. Okay.
Am I going to be in a cameo?
You just were. Everyone got to see your pretty outfit. Okay. So now, guys, we're going to go ahead and get this mixed up. And so now we've got all of our dry rub together. So that's there. I will put this over here in the sink. Okay, now, with my my pan, it is 12-inch cast iron. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this here. Get rid of the bag.
You want to put the silver in there, though?
No. I'm going to cut the silver off. Kim was asking if I was going to put the silver in. I'm not going to...
I meant in the bag, so it looks...
Oh, it's all right. Okay, so... again, my cast iron is 12 inches. So this I don't want to squish up. I want to lay it flat. So I'm actually going to, once I take the silver off, I'm going to actually slice that in half so it fits in the pan a little bit better. But first what we need to do is take the silver off. The silver is basically, guys, this line of fat right here. And so if you come in with your knife and just barely cut, as you see, it's taking the silver right off. Just like that. And we want to try to get as much of that off as possible. So it's almost like it's a layer of fat, but it's almost like a tendon too. I know it's not a tendon, but it seems like it because it's actually got that straight cut across. So we're going to take that off, dress it up a little bit, get in here and take some of this fat off. I know I told you guys to grab, it called for 2, but since it's only Kim and I'm only going to do 1 tenderloin tonight. You guys, this is a tenderloin we had left over actually from another meal that we did this week. And so in one package at Kroger's, they sell two of the tenderloins. So try not to damage too much of that. All right. Oops. All right. Now, like I said, I'm going to come in here and just basically cut that in half. So now it's a little bit more manageable in my skillet. So let's go ahead and take our rub, as we'll just use my dirty hand. And we're going to cover this and basically rub it in. Make sure you get all the sides of it. The rub smells really good. So Penny, hopefully if you're cooking with us tonight, was able to catch up with us. I don't know if he was going to cook with us tonight or just watch it again. So Kim and I was just talking, and I think something that we might want to do is maybe during the week of the 21st, which is our first leave of intercession, I might just sporadically drop some videos of Come Cook with Joe. Oh, okay. Penny said she's watching, which is cool. I might sporadically just drop some videos on Come Cook with Joe. And if you guys are subscribed to the channel, then you'll be able to see that whenever I drop them. If you aren't, then obviously you'd have to go and actually physically look. So, but just doing some different cakes and cookies, since we won't be entertaining or having people over, and since we won't be going many places, that way you guys can see some different things, and we'd be able to be involved with each other and still connected during this time. So that might be kind of fun. So I'll start thinking of different recipes, like I said, some short candies and stuff like that, which would be kind of fun, and just drop them in during the course of the week. So, all right. So now we've got our rub on. We're going to let that sit and rest for a minute. So the next thing we need to do is go ahead and heat our oil on our skillet. So we're going to go ahead and take our oil, and the oil is going to call for about 1.5 tablespoons. So I'm just going to come in here and splash that just a pinch. And then I'm going to get that turned on so that way it can get nice and hot. And what we're looking for, guys, with that is for that oil to start to simmer, because what we want, or shimmer, I'm sorry. What we want to do with that then is we're going to sear the loin on all sides. And then once that loin gets seared, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take that and move it to the side. We're going to throw the garlic in with it, a little bit more garlic. And we're going to throw some garlic in there with it, and then let that go ahead and cook a little bit. And then we'll take that and move it. We'll turn it once, and then we'll move it straight in the oven. And then we'll let that cook roughly about 15 to 18 minutes. And while we're doing that, then we're going to go ahead and do our sauce. So right now, what we're doing is waiting for that to start to shimmer. Grab me a hot pot, so I can throw that in the oven whenever we get ready. And then I'll come over here and actually cook I'll clean the cutting board whenever we get to that stage. And then we will put the loin back on the board once we get done. And that way we can carve it into medallions before we plate it. And while that rests, then we'll come back over and we'll have the sauce in the pan. And what we'll do is we'll thicken that up by reducing it, and then we'll use that to cover the loin with. Oil's getting hot. So hopefully everybody's had a great week so far. We're finishing it out, of course, since we're here Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday, the end of the week. Then we've got our weekend. Like I said, I've got a couple more weeks to go. And then I am on intercession leave from work, which is kind of nice. And Kim is on Christmas break, which is kind of nice. So to all the teachers out there, I'm welcoming you into Christmas break because it's just about here. So the oven's preheated, and like I said, that oil is getting hot. So we'll go ahead and start putting away some of our dry ingredients so we can get rid of our garlic powder, get rid of our pepper, get rid of our paprika and our salt. I can put my honey back. And my apple cider vinegar goes out to the mudroom. We'll grab us some plating plates. And that looks about ready. Okay. So we'll get our loin over here. Like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to throw that right on here. And we're going to sear it on all sides. Nice and hot. I'm going to temporarily put this in the sink there because we're going to wash that because we're going to need it again. So we're going to let these basically sear up just a little bit until they're nice and gold on all sides. Guys, one of the thoughts, if you don't have, and I know it's sort of late now because we're at this step, but if you don't have an oven-proof skillet, one thing that you could probably use would be something like a baking sheet, and just use the baking sheet. That would be fine too. So once you bake it, then pour any juices on the tray into the skillet and make the sauce off of that. Go ahead and turn these. What? Oh. Guys, again, with the cast iron skillet, you don't really have to worry about it sticking. Just with the way the seasoning is in the skillet, it shouldn't stick. And if you're having problems with things sticking in your cast iron, then you might need to re-season it. And you can always go to lodge.com and look up a way to re-season your cast iron skillet. So all their instructions are there. I'm going to turn this up on its side. We'll probably do these with mixed vegetables tonight. Probably again like what we always do, like just with the microwave, just because it's easy and convenient. Okay. Can you do me a favor and get me another spoon down, please?
What?
Another spoon. One last flip. That way all sides are seared. Thank you. Grab our minced garlic and bring it over because we're going to put a little bit more in here. Okay, now if you haven't cut your loin in half, then you'll probably need to push it off to the side. Basically, I'm just making sure that it's off to the side because what we're going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit more minced garlic. Huh? Kim said it smells really good. I'm just going to take about a spoonful of minced garlic and throw it right in there. Now we're going to cook this till it's gold. Guys, so basically we're looking about close to 30 seconds, all right? So let that get a nice golden color. All right. Now we'll take our sauce. I'm going to give it one nice more spin around. We'll pour that right in there with all the rest. Now that smells wonderful. Okay, now we're going to turn the pork one more time, just to get that caramelization a little bit on both sides. And now we're going to take that and set it straight in the oven. So, just like that. Turn my top off for right now. Now we're going to let that roast for roughly about 15 to 18 minutes until the internal temperature runs roughly about 145. And then we're going to remove the pork onto a plate, or I'm going to put it actually back on our cutting board, which I'm going to get cleaned here in a minute. And then we're going to cover it with foil and let it rest for at least 5 minutes. And during that time, then we're going to actually thicken up our sauce. So we're going to turn the stovetop back onto a medium-high heat, and then we're going to simmer rapidly for about 3 minutes until the liquid reduces down to about a thin syrup. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut our pork loin up, and then we're going to get that plated, and then we're going to take that sauce and nicely cover it with some of the sauce. So it's a good time. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get some things cleaned up while we're waiting for that pork to cook. So I'm roughly looking right now at about 19 minutes on the clock. So this is the longest part of the evening for us. So again, with you guys, hopefully you can go over to Come Cook with Joe on YouTube and be part of that. Again, this Christmas season, I think it'll be fun. We'll be able to do some of the cookies and some of the candies that everybody's been asking about, and still be able to do some of the main courses during the weeks leading up to Christmas and New Year's. This one tonight, I think, is a really good meal. I think you guys will really enjoy it if you get a chance to make it. Kim and I had done this one a couple weeks ago. I guess it's been now, and it was really good. Like I said, it plates beautifully. So if you have a big serving platter or something to do along those lines, then you can really get the entire loin placed on there in your medallions. And it's going to look really nice with your guests coming over. And then you can also get some greeneries and put it on it, and just make for a pretty plate. And of course, you can serve that out either as a host or hostess, and you can also serve it out family style. Have them come up and get what they want. So. Okay. Oops. Sorry. All right. So I got our cutting board back. Got my wet paper towel down. Again, guys, that's one thing you can do in order to stop your cutting board from going everywhere. So if you get a nice wet paper towel and set it down on your countertop, because if not, it's going to slide all over the place. But once you get that nice wet surface, then it doesn't go anywhere. So it's a safety tip for you guys. That way you don't have to cut yourself whenever you're handling the knife with the cutting board. So get a nice big piece of aluminum foil out, because like I said, once these come out, we're going to go ahead and get that together and cover that and let it rest. We'll go ahead and continue to do these dishes while we're waiting on that time to go by. If anybody has any ideas, again, I'm always looking for ideas about what you guys would like to see cooked. And with the candies and whatnot that's coming up, hopefully you guys can get in there and make some suggestions about some things that you like. I know Mom had mentioned Divinity Candy, which we'll probably try to do one night that week. Another one that has been wanting to do is maybe one of my friends, Mike Barcy, has asked for peanut brittle, and we might get in and make that. So just odds and ends and different things. We might do some cherry bombs. That one's awfully fun. I know we've been talking about that for a while. But I'll just go ahead and put the instructions out there and let you guys grab hold of some things, and we'll just have a good week. So don't know how many we'll actually do. Just really depends on when the time allows us to do it. But it could be a fun week. That way it'll give us, like I said, a chance to get together and just come together and cook. So it'll be a good time. So we are still without students at work. So a lot of times during the day I'm thinking about things to make, and I'm excited about this time with you guys because this will give me something to show my students once they do come back.
My mom said an old-fashioned jam cake.
An old-fashioned what? Jam cake?
Yeah.
So my mom said an old-fashioned jam cake. So so yeah, this channel, because they'll be able to get on YouTube. So it'll be a good thing to actually be able to show the students once they come back with us. So I'm really excited about that. It's really been fun to be able to come in with you guys and cook because, like I said, I was devastated whenever all this COVID stuff happened because we used to host dinner parties and do 4-course meals, and we just haven't been able to do that recently. So especially with things getting as backed up as they are. This is probably when I'm going to lose most of my viewers. That's not, no one wants to watch them do dishes. So, so we should have had one pre-made and then brought it out like they do on TV, and boof, here we go. This is what we need to do next. So, all right. Retention's always a problem. But I know my true viewers, they will stick with me till the end. I'm happy that everyone else is out there too on the YouTube channel. It's usually not a subscriber. So, all right, now we can get the garlic put away. Oh. Instant read thermometer, guys, again, is something else that you can get a hold of. And it's a good thing to have on hand, especially if you do a lot of chicken. Chicken's internal temp's at 165. Beef is at 155. And pork is at 145. So your vegetables and seafood, obviously, is at 135. So your chicken is going to be the hottest internal temp that you need, 165. Kill all that salmonella poisoning. So let's go ahead and get these out and see what temp we're at now. I know we probably aren't near it, but I just want to check. It's looking really good. It's smelling amazing. So if you have an instant read thermometer, the one thing you want to do is make sure that you're going in the thickest part possible. And there's a little divot that's on the instant thermometer, which I've told you guys about before because I know we've done this before.
Mom says she's hanging in there, and your mom wants to know where Riley's sweater is.
Oh, good. So Cindy says she's hanging in with us, which is good. And my mom wants to know where Riley's sweater is. So Riley, Riley got a bath the other day. So he has some, come here. He has some dry skin issues. And so we've been having some trouble with him. So we got him a good bath the other day. And since we got him a bath, we went ahead and washed his sweater. So, but yeah, he's doing good. So, all right. So that's where his sweater is. It's in the dirty laundry is where it's at. one of the biggest things to remember, guys, also is if you're cooking pork or chicken or whatnot, and you pull that before, once you pull that, the temperature should regulate and then start falling off. So you never want to get to the point where you're thinking, okay, well, I'm going to cook it that far under, because once it sits on the plate, it's going to continue to cook. Us covering it tonight, basically what's going to do is going to hold that residual heat in, but it's also not going to get any hotter because it's not around the heat source. So just remember to be careful if you're cooking things. You want to make sure that the internal temperature gets to where they need to be. So, because I don't want you guys to get sick on me with food poisoning. Big debate. Steaks, how it should be cooked. Medium rare is definitely the way to go, because medium rare basically is you're looking at a steak compared to ground beef. Ground beef is where you're going to run into problems mostly with the E. coli. Steak, though, is two sides cut of a beef, and so it doesn't have all that extra stuff ground up into it. And so if you get a steak medium rare, basically it's going to be the pinkness inside and a little bit red almost, but it's going to be really, really tender too. And if you order it one time, you'll never go back, I promise. So it's just something to think about. And I know I'm going to get some comments on that one too, but that's okay. So. Been about almost, we started at 19, I think? Yeah, so we're 11 minutes, so maybe about 4 more minutes. So, don't know if anybody has any questions. I know there's been a lot of questions about knives. Group that I use is Slitzer. It is a German still. Germans make the hardest and strongest still. So it's usually who I tend to go with. This set is really nice, especially if you're looking for Christmas gifts. It has the French knife, which is a major go-to of mine. I know you guys have seen me a lot with the French knife, which is the one I use most of all. It has a serrated bread knife, which is kind of nice for the bread, because again, you don't have to force that down. You just basically saw it and let that cut by itself. You have a boning knife, which is kind of nice. You've got the butcher still, and that's good to have. Then you have a fillet, and then you also have a paring. So those are really nice knives, and this is a nice set. Came with also a butcher cleaver, which I don't have out right now. I've got it put away because it was really wreaking havoc on my my wrap. So I'm trying to look and to get another wrap or a backpack for my knife set, just so I can carry it if I need to. So, but yeah, it's great Christmas. It was actually purchased from my mother-in-law a couple years back, and it's been my go-to knife set whenever I'm cooking here at home. Anytime that I take it with me. So just so I know what I've got. So professional knives are good things to have. So they stay sharp, and they're good working tools. So get these sweets over here now. Okay, let's see where we're at. All right, guys, we are almost there. We're about 1:30 right now. I'm going to turn that one over. That one's roughly about 132. Turn it over. They're smelling amazing. Get these back in here for a few more minutes, and then we should be good to go. I had forgotten that the cooking process on this is a little bit longer. I was hoping I forgot that we don't make the sauce. It's actually cooking in the sauce.
You were worried about the apple chutney.
I was worried about the apple chutney. So Kim and I had made a tenderloin, what was it, 2 days ago? Monday. And it has an apple chutney with it. So it was really good. But the chutney takes some time to actually bake off or cook off. And the tenderloins are in the oven by themselves, aren't they? They aren't, yeah. So, and then you're making the sauce. So it might be something we do, because I know a lot of you guys probably won't have, you won't use both tenderloins tonight. So you'll have another tenderloin sitting around. So we might come back with that one pretty quick, because I actually thawed out an additional 2 tenderloins out in the fridge in the garage, and I might have to grab those, and maybe we'll do the apple chutney one with you guys, because that one's pretty fun. But yeah, I was worried about the cooking of the chutney, because it took so long. So hopefully I'm not losing you guys. I'm sorry. This is a little bit extensive. And then we'll be able to finish this up. So I know retention's probably not going to be here tonight. With the non-subscribers, the ones that don't follow me every week. So I guess that what they say, some things just, good things come to those who wait, I guess, huh? So we'll see. Riley's tired.
When is it?
Yep. He's ready for the holiday seasons too. Cast iron's heavy. Cast iron's heavy, and it's sort of scary to use it on a glass top. One thing you don't want to do is drop a cast iron on your glass top. All right. Looks like we are there. Okay, we are there, guys. So what I'm going to do now, if you aren't there yet, that's fine. Go ahead and put it back in and cook it for a little bit longer and just watch this last part. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get this plated over here on the cutting board. Yeah, that'd be great. Get that right there. We're going to bring this back over here. And with that, let's go ahead and get this covered first. So I'm just taking my aluminum foil. I'm just going to loosely tint that. Okay. Now I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to turn this back on to medium-high heat. And then we're going to get that to boil for us. We're going to reduce this to about half, to where it's a nice thick, well, not really thick glaze, but just nice syrupy glaze. Might even take that up to high first. So let's get it on high, let's get it to boil. And then once it starts to boil, then we can go ahead and reduce that heat down to a medium-high and let it boil, continue to simmer, and we will get that reduced. So it's smelling amazing. So if you're at this point, I hope you are. If you're at this point, you're getting the smell. So there's our boil. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce that down to medium-high. So on occasion, we'll just go in and stir it. Like I said, we're going to get that down to a little bit of a glaze. By reducing it, basically the steam comes up and takes some of the contents away of the liquid and leaves you with a nice glaze. So this will roughly take about 3 or 4 minutes. Just all depends on how thick you like your glaze. Again, we're going to go about 3 or 4 minutes and see where we're at. One thing about cast iron is it really conducts that heat really well. And it retains the heat, so you just have to be real careful with that. So if you're using your cast iron, always make sure that you aren't burning your food. So we will probably go ahead and let this cook for roughly about 5 minutes, because that's what it's going to take for our chops to, or I'm sorry, our loin to rest. Always make sure that you're letting your food rest after you cook it. It allows the juices to redistribute back into itself, and it makes it that much more presentable, and actually the quality is better in it. So Gordon Ramsay, whenever he cooks his turkey, he will actually let the turkey rest for as long as he cooks it, which is phenomenal, because it actually makes the bird really moist, and it's really good. And how you heat that back up is basically with your gravy. Whenever you serve it with your gravy, it's piping hot gravy, which warms your turkey back up. So, so Kim's over there. It's like, only if you like gravy. Well, yeah, I thought the gravy was good this year. And I'm not biased because I'm the one that made it. I'm just saying I thought it was good. Oh, goodness. So hopefully everybody's been able to watch some good Christmas movies up this far. I know we haven't got to Christmas yet, but we need to start watching them now, or else we won't be able to see them. So, yeah, Kim said Netflix has some really good ones. We are cable cutters, so we don't have cable, so we watch Netflix and Hulu and Vudu. So, guys, if you see this, what I'm doing is basically drawing the spatula back across the pan. And whenever I can see the bottom really clear, that's whenever I know I'm starting to get to where I need to be. So, means it's reducing nice.
So my mom said the gravy was good because Dad liked it, and that's the test. He's a gravy connoisseur.
So Cindy said that the gravy was good because Kirk, which is my father-in-law, liked it, and he's the connoisseur of gravy, and so that's where I got my my thumbs up, the nod. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and kill this heat because I think we're at the consistency we really want. Because, again, drawing that spatula, you can see the bottom really well. And so I know that's reduced quite a bit. Like I said, we wanted it about half. So it's looking pretty good. It starts to cool down. It's looking a whole lot better. The garlic's starting to come up to the top. Now, I know it still looks wet, but like I said, we didn't want something that's going to be really thick. We wanted something that was going to be sort of like a gel, which this is pretty much there. So if you can see that really well. So that's the consistency we're wanting. We want something that's a little loose, but also is going to be able to be separated from the bottom of the pan. So that's good for me. I'm ready for that. So now what we will do is come back over here and we will grab our loin. See all that juice has come out of that loin? So that's what the most important part is, to let that loin rest. So whenever that does, it redistributes the juices, and that's what we've got here. So that's going to be a really good cut for us. So I'll go ahead and grab my tongs, because I don't want to touch that because it's really, really hot. Then I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to make some medallions. So cuts down, just like that. Probably about 1 inch. Guys, I hope you really were able to get into this one tonight, because I think you'll really enjoy this flavor. It's really amazing. It's really packed full of flavor, especially once we get that juice on there. and so tender. Look at that. It's almost falling apart. All right. So now what we can do is I'll go ahead and grab a plate. And then you're going to come back in here and lay these medallions right down. Can't see that, can you? I'm sorry. Okay. So Kim only wants 3. So I'm going to turn her medallions up. Set them side by side. Just like that. I almost did it. Huh? You know what? I might want a spoon for this one. So I'm going to grab a spoon. The microwave's mad at us. Then just take some of this glaze. Lay it right in there. All right, let's grab these vegetables. Now guys, you can do this on a bed of rice. You can do it however you want to do it. We got, like I said, these vegetables. Like I said, it's just a staple, quick, easy thing for us. A little bit of salt and pepper, and you're good to go. So, now again, if you can imagine having a couple of those loins, because in the package you have 2, and you have plenty of sauce over there to do the rest. But if you take those and lay the loin out on your platter, it's going to be beautiful for your holiday get-togethers. So I'll go ahead and turn you guys around and get you all a send-off, and then we're going to sit down and enjoy this nice dinner. So, hi. So I'm glad you guys came in and cooked with me tonight. Sorry it took a little bit longer than what we expected in the oven, but some things like that just happens. Hopefully, if you came in and watched and you weren't subscribed, you stuck out with me anyways, and you saw the finished product. So glad to have all you guys out there following me. Glad to have you guys watching me. It's a good time to spend with you, especially tonight. Tonight went a little bit over. It's 5:46 on my clock. So I know it's a little bit longer, but nevertheless, like I said, you're going to love this meal. So you guys enjoy it, and I will see you next Thursday with another meal. Not sure exactly what we're going to do yet, but it's going to be a fun one. And then watch out for the week of the 20th. If you haven't subscribed to Come Cook With Joe on YouTube, definitely do that, because that way whenever I drop the video, you guys will be able to watch it. So not sure if I'll be able to bring in you guys on Facebook Live, but like I said, I'm just going to post those videos on my channel. So come over and subscribe so you don't miss anything. So guys, thank you again. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.